100th edition, with a look back at how it all began 10 years ago.
Hello and welcome to Crimewatch UK. Now, if you've ever worried or complained about crime, this is your chance to do something about it.
Good evening. We don't often get the chance to really celebrate on Crimewatch, but tonight we can make an exception. It's our 10th birthday and our 100th programme, and that was how our first broadcast began back in 1984. Later on, we'll be taking a look back at some of the 1,200 or so cases we've covered, which viewers have been directly responsible for solving.
But first tonight, an unsolved murder, at least unsolved till now. The victim, Larry Burt from Ramsgate in Kent, was so well liked, according to a friend, we'll probably have to have St Paul's Cathedral for the funeral.
Larry, you got those invoices?
Won't be a minute. Janet, can you come and have a look at this? The dropout's far too high in this relay. You reckon it's that one? All right.
Larry Burt worked as a quality assurance controller. Part of his job was to test products before they were sent out to clients.
What could I do without you? Shouldn't that stay here? Thank you. Open your eyes. Can you hear me? Obviously not. Right, he's unconscious. What do we do now?
Mouth to mouth.
You're jumping the gun. We've got to check for breathing first.
Larry was a branch officer of the Red Cross and twice a year led courses in first aid.
I run the Red Cross here in Margate. I very often help Larry with his lectures. He was full of fun, he was loved by his students, and many of them have stayed friends over the years.
Now, clearly there's nothing happening in this poor chap. So, only then do you follow the ventilation procedures. Right, change the subject. I need a casualty. Who fancies being tied up? Jean?
Oh, dear.
Need a hand? Larry. How are you doing? You just got back then?
What's this then? Slimming again?
It's only for the week, my engine blew up.
We've known Larry now for about 25 years. He lost his parents during the war in an air raid, and now, of course, his adopted parents are also dead. So he was totally alone. He had no relatives at all, and he just adopted practically everybody of his friends as relatives, and he had a heck of a lot of friends.
Yes, in fact, I would say that his death has been a great personal tragedy to a great many people. We had an awful lot in common.
He had a common interest in art, didn't he?
Oh, yes, we had a common interest in art. Lots of things we were interested in and encouraged to be interested in by Larry.
He introduced us to bird watching, basically.
Yes, you know, he was enthusiastic about all sorts of things, and he managed to convey it to people. He had a zest for life, without a doubt.
Oh, well, look, I won't see you tomorrow, because I'm going up London to have a mooch around. Gonna take this on the train. So, I'm going to see you Sunday, though.
Right.
Okay,
fine.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
On Saturday, the 26th of February, Larry boarded the 9:52 from Dumpton Park to London.
Wine tickets, please.
Oh, sorry, cheap to return to Victoria, please.
£15.70. Thank you.
It's not known where in London Larry meant to visit, but he clearly intended to return that same day.
Ticket. Wine tickets, please.
20 minutes later, the same guard, Ian Williams, remembers seeing someone sitting opposite Larry.
Although I didn't see them talking, it looked to me as if I'd interrupted something. I remember she had a 5-day return London to Whitstable.
Larry was just the sort of person who might have started up a conversation with a stranger. If that woman was you, and if he mentioned his plans for the day, it's obviously important. At any rate, please call us. Larry visited London every couple of months, but from here it's all conjecture. He probably cycled from Victoria out towards the East End. In the past, he's talked of visiting St Catherine's Dock, as another of his interests was boats and chandlery. Maybe you saw Larry cycling around Wapping that afternoon. In Wapping High Street stands the Town of Ramsgate pub. Larry may have been there in the past. Did you see him here in February? Larry had binoculars for bird watching and was an accomplished photographer. He was also a remarkable artist and would often turn his drawings into cards for his friends. Perhaps you noticed Larry by the river that afternoon. With his sketchpad, camera and binoculars, he would have been distinctive. The next day, overlooking the river at the rear of a warehouse known as the Old Pump House in St Catherine's Way in Wapping, Larry's body was discovered. It's likely he was murdered in this yard above the river, probably the day before. He'd been strangled. In fact, Inspector Michael, he was strangled with a scarf left at the scene, identical to this one. And it wasn't his scarf?
No, it wasn't his scarf. The person who strangled him would have been the owner of that scarf. The scarf was well worn, so they've had it for some time, and we'd like anybody who knows somebody who went out with a scarf similar to this, who came home without it, to get in touch with us.
26th of February, Saturday 26th of February, possibly Sunday the 27th of February. The bike that Larry had is missing. I mean, it's conceivable that whoever killed him came home with a bike as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's the metallic blue Man's Abbey Racer Tourer bicycle. It was modified since Larry had it, and it had chrome mudguards, back pannier, and the handlebar tape was blue.
Now, what other things were taken? Because you suspect the motive is robbery, and quite a lot of belongings disappeared.
There's a good chance. We would really like anybody who knows about the other missing property, which includes a Swallow binoculars, which is adjustable.
Like these?
That's correct.
These are 8x21s.
Yes, also a 35mm automatic compact camera with built-in zoom lens. His personal belongings in his wallet, identity cards, a black rucksack with possibly sketching materials. Anybody who's had this property, who knows anything about it, please get in touch with us.
Now, in truth, knowing that the stuff was stolen, they might be quite reluctant to get in touch with you if it's passed through their hands. They don't want to be done for receiving stolen property.
Okay. Obviously, that's quite understandable, but really we're just concerned with Larry's murder, and we would encourage these people to come forward. Please get in touch with us.
Now, since you don't know really where he went between Victoria Station and being found near St Catherine's Dock, you need to find anybody who met him at all that day, or perhaps any other day in London when he was on his...
We know he had a good knowledge of Wapping, the East End. Also, he had a broader knowledge of London. But anybody who was with him that weekend or knows anybody who was with Larry, please get in touch with us.
Inspector, thank you. If you can help